Okay, good stuff. So welcome to the Bring It Coaching podcast. This is episode number 7 now we're on. And for this episode, I'm joined by none other than Shiv. How you doing, Shiv?
I'm good, thanks, today.
Good to have you on. So for those that don't know Shiv, she runs a Hot Pod Yoga studio in Birmingham. And so I wanted to reach out to you, Shiv, because I want to find out more about yourself. Having known you from forwarders and training alongside you and learning a bit more about your background, I think it's really inspiring to see someone like yourself who not only runs a business and in sport and fitness, but also looks after your own health. Being a mom as well, being a busy mom, I can imagine it's chaos. So it'd be interesting to see, and listen to your story, and hopefully you can help inspire other people. Because as you know, I run my own gym and we've got our own sort of similar demographic to yourself. So it'd be really good for our viewers to see and listen to your story as well. How you doing? You're right though, yeah?
Yeah, that sounds
good. Good stuff. So before we actually begin, Shiv, what I tend to do is ask our guest a random fact about yourself, fun fact, if you don't mind sharing. Anything can be anything about yourself, something interesting.
Um,
I know I'll put everybody on the spot with it, but if you don't mind, if you can think of anything, it can be anything.
I'll bring out the Irish dancing one. So we won the World Championships in Irish dancing in a
Oh,
team.
wow. Okay, nice. So you won the World Championship, yeah?
Yeah, with a team. Yeah.
Brilliant, yeah. And are you still doing that now? Are you still competing in Irish dancing?
No, but it comes out sometimes at weddings.
Does it? We'll have to get some footage of you doing it, Shiv, man. That'd be good. No. Okay, brilliant stuff. So yeah, let's begin with right from the start. Like obviously, you've got the Irish dance in there, which I didn't know about yourself. So you've got obviously you're a Hot Pod yoga teacher as well. Where did it all begin for you? Like, how did you get into sport? What was your earliest memory around sport and fitness and health?
So probably from when I could walk. Gaelic football, that's big in our family. So you literally get a ball handed to you as soon as you're born.
Yeah.
So that's big in our family. I've always watched, and as soon as we we were training for that. Irish dancing again from about 4 years old.
Wow.
Trampoline and gymnastics, that was big as well. Through school, primary and secondary, I'd say.
Yeah.
So 7 days a week, I'd always be training towards something.
Wow.
I know how it feels now that I'm taxiing my kids about, but it's worth it.
No, I can imagine. So was you born in the UK or was you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had that authenticity from Ireland coming over here and obviously, embedded in the family then from a young age. Wow. So what you're saying, literally day in, day out, you'd be practicing some form of sport or fitness?
Yeah.
Wow, brilliant. So you did the Irish dancing, you did the Gaelic football, gymnastics. Is there anything that you didn't do there, Shiv?
I've done all the school stuff as well, so netball team, little bit of athletics, but yeah, I tried to fit in as much as I could.
Wow. So I guess growing up then, was you someone that stood out amongst your peers and friends in school then, like in terms of athletic ability? Was you someone that really like stood out?
Not necessarily. So I was never the best at anything, but I did my best. So I trained as much as possible. Yeah.
So you had the right attitude, would you say?
Yeah.
Brilliant. No, that's really good. That's good. And obviously, I know from our background and in a sort of Asian culture and family, we tend to have a lot of brothers and sisters. Is it the same? I've heard it's the same in Irish families. You have quite a big family, and
yeah, I'm one of 4.
one of 4.
Yeah, the oldest as well. So I'd start things off.
Would you?
Yeah.
So okay. So he's almost like a role model to your siblings at a young age.
Yeah, I like to think so. My brother done Irish dancing, although he won't appreciate me saying that. He was quite good as well.
Wow. No, really good. So pretty much competitive? Do you have that competitive like spirit and edge in the family growing up?
A little bit. We were into different things at different times, so
Mhm.
not too much. More just the normal fight in between. More like
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So you finished school now. You've got all this, experience and background in different sports. What did you take up most? And obviously, I know you mentioned there the Irish dancing, but was there a particular sport that you carried forward after school and stuff
The
once you finished?
Irish dancing was probably the longest, so up to about 18, I think, maybe.
Wow.
Well, 17, 18, soon, and then you start going out, so everything kind of drops off a little bit.
So you hit the teenage years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we had our first, I was 20, 21 when I had my first baby, so
Mhm.
everything stopped then. It
Wow.
was a bit of a shock. And then I went on to have 3 more. So in my 20s, it was kind of all kids.
So what you're saying? So the fitness and the training all sort of took a back seat then?
Not when I had Aoife, my second. That's when I started training to do. I was working at the police at the time, so
Yeah.
I started training to do personal training.
Right.
So I got that qualification while I was doing night shifts and all that. That was the only time
Wow.
I had, rather than at home. And then I've done some PT work with lots of ladies, mainly with young kids, like I had. So
Hmm.
I worked from home, so that worked well while the kids were small.
Wow.
That just worked
Brilliant.
for me. And then I found hot yoga in town. I started going and absolutely just fell in love with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was more time out. So you kind of haven't got a lot of time, but in the 1 hour you get that mind space. It's physical, it's sweaty, hard, mobility. You kind of get everything in one in that hour. So that's why I loved it so much. I've got my
Hmm.
hour.
No, brilliant.
And then I
Brilliant.
started
Sounds good.
training for yoga as well. I did my 200 hour then. And
Wow.
that led to hot
So
pod.
it sounds like you had like a natural progression based on your life circumstances around. Because obviously, it seems like you still had a passion for fitness and health. So whatever your life circumstances were at the time, you managed to find a way to stay involved with it and
Yeah,
pursue it.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I always have to be doing something. So even after each baby, I'd go back to Gaelic football,
Wow.
just something,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever I
yeah.
could, depending on time. Um, yeah, and
And why do you think you felt like you always had to do something? Why did you feel like it had to like stick with you?
I don't know. I think it's just inbred in me. I just, yeah,
Yeah.
have to.
What did it give you? What sort of outlet did it give you by sticking with the training and doing something all the time?
Um, I think mentally, you kind of need it. If you lead a busy life anyway,
Hmm.
um, you need that outlet to go
Hmm.
to. Just some time out from your daily crazy life. So
Yeah,
I've
no,
got
sure,
something, and I
sure.
like something to work towards as well.
Yeah.
Especially if there's a kind of competitive side, whether it's matches or competitions.
Hmm. Hmm. So
I
did
like
you have anybody? Sorry, say that again.
I just like something to work towards.
Yeah, yeah. And how important is that actually to work towards something? What would you say?
Everyone's different. So I've never really had any actual hobbies that are just a hobby. It kind of
Mhm.
always had a little bit of goal at the end. Um, I don't know why it's important to me, but it definitely just helps keep me focused more on what I'm doing,
No,
training.
sure, sure, sure. No, definitely.
Yoga's probably the only thing that's not a competition.
Yeah, it's quite interesting when you say that. Then, so everything else, but your main business. Would you say you get that from the business sort of like edge? Then having the business, is that keeping you
Yeah,
going and looking forward to something and keeping you in that competitive edge? Do you think so, or what do you think about that?
running the business is in.
So, like, how you say like you're always working towards something,
Yeah,
but yoga in itself, you said it doesn't give you that. But do you think from the business aspect, it gives you that, or what
yeah.
would you say?
That's another kind of thing. So I want to be successful in it as well. So
Mm, mm.
the goal.
Brilliant. No, that sounds good. Did you have somebody to look up to then that gave you this, this competitive spirit and keeping you involved in the sport?
Yeah, probably mom and dad obviously worked hard. Dad still does. Really into sport as well, the whole family. But yeah, my dad's probably very like me, or I'm like him.
Who's that? Your dad? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he play professionally or any like type of level or?
No, he played Gaelic. So all Gaelic is amateur, but you'd think it was professional. How much we get into it.
Right, I understand. Okay, so you basically copycatted your dad in doing what he did. Yeah. So how important is it for parents then, would you say, to lead by example and show the children and the younger generation to get involved in such things?
Yeah, massively. And they don't really have to actually say it. It's just kids absorb it and they do what they've always seen growing up. So it kind of just follows on.
No, absolutely. Because I've got young kids myself, and I definitely notice the times when I am training in front of them, I don't even have to tell them to join in. Sometimes they just come and follow and just start copying what we're doing. So I appreciate that. It's a massive thing for them for what they see when they're younger.
Yeah,
that's good. Cool. So let's dive into more so the coping with obviously being a mom, running a business, training yourself. How do you do it, Shiv? What's the secret? What's the secret? I'm sure there's many women in your position who are, may or may not have a business, but are running a household, family, kids, looking after a husband, etc. But they just can't get themselves into a routine of training, keeping their health up to scratch. Because I meet a lot of clients and people along in my gym, and they've gone like, maybe they never had that initial start where they kept themselves fit or took part in any sport in sport. Maybe it was like when they were younger in school, but they've gone like 15, 20 plus years by not doing any sort of physical activity. Like, what would you say to those sort of the women out there about that? How would you go about doing that?
I do believe in getting up early.
Yeah.
As you have to. Because literally I know what it's like, because it can be the only time. I know people say they're a morning person or an evening person, but evenings, if you're a mom, are even busier. It's not generally not going to happen. I know it's hard as well to leave the house if you haven't got childcare or anything like that. But so if you're really stuck, get up early. Get up before they get up.
Yeah. How early are we talking?
5, I would, if your kids get up at 6. 5 is the best time. You just get so much more done. It starts you off and you'll get so much more done throughout the day. So
like an hour before the kids literally just get up. And what would you say? What would you just crack on with, like your daily jobs in the house, or would you dedicate some time to some training then?
No, it's training first.
Okay.
If I start on the house and everything I've got, it won't happen. So that's the only way of prioritizing yourself.
So you put yourself first for that hour, get your training in. And what does that do for the rest of the day then for you?
Everything gets done much quicker. You're just much more mentally focused on what you've got to do. Because I know how much you've got to do throughout the day, and it is endless. So if you start on that, you'll never get to yourself. And
for those obviously again in who are like looking after the household, the kids, do you like how like, obviously I know you're organized, but how organized would you say you are? Do you have like a diary where you schedule things in, or are you a bit more flexible with that?
No. Don't have a diary, so anyone that you ask I'll just keep it in my head. It's quite bad. But my dad's the same. His car is his office. I'm quite similar.
Your car is your office. How do you mean? What's that mean?
Well, my dad's car's just like just paperwork everywhere, and he keeps everything in his head, meetings, everything.
Wow.
A bit similar,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of organized chaos, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing and where I'm going, but if I tried to tell someone, they'd be like, "How do you even?"
Yeah. Oh, we're frozen. Yeah, got yeah. Sorry, you were saying there, Shiv?
Yeah, so I am organised, but it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
And
with
I,
work, training, and home life.
yeah, I mean, I guess you've been doing it for how long? What, 20 plus years now?
Yeah,
So it's sort of
my
automatic of
my
how.
eldest is 22. My eldest is
Wow, wow,
um, so it's a
brilliant.
bit easier as they get older in one way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I can imagine. Brilliant. Okay, so let's move on to your own training where you're at now. So obviously, we know you got 4 kids. You've got a business which we'll touch on in a second. But your own training, how are you able to manage? Like, how many times you train in a week then, Shiv?
um, Probably about six times a
Six
week.
times a week.
Yeah,
Wow,
so I'll
wow.
do 3
And,
strength training and then 3 conditioning, Hyrox
yeah,
one.
some cardio. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And in terms of yoga itself, you fit that in as well.
Yeah, so I generally teach about 5 classes a week.
Oh man. So you're doing your own. So you're doing 6 training sessions just for yourself, and then 5 additional yoga sessions on top.
Yeah, although teaching yoga, we don't get the same benefits, so I do have to try and make time for me to get to a class, which
I
again is
understand.
hard.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, you don't get the same when you teach a lot
Right.
because
But
you're
you're still in the pod. You're
still in the pod,
still
still
you're still sweating, right?
yeah, and
You're still
moving,
moving around.
sweating. Yeah,
Wow, wow, amazing. So almost like 11 to 15 if you're doing some yourself sessions a week. So do you think staying involved in the fitness sort of area of doing the yoga has also benefited you in keeping you more directly linked in the fitness space and keeping on top of your fitness
yeah,
rather than having like an office job or something?
yeah. Um, I don't think I would be able to do an office job. I like to be just moving all the time. But again, everyone's different, so the yoga really helps. Even with it, if you're really active, um, you're going to get injuries, little niggles here and there,
Yeah.
which yoga will help with. So if you're very active, you do a lot of repetitive stuff, so you'll get stiffness in whatever way you're training. And the same if you're not as active, if you drive a lot, if you're at an office, you'll
Hmm.
still get exactly the same issues.
Right,
That's
right.
why yoga just kind of brings both together.
No, definitely. And that's something I'll go into in a second. But before that, just want to touch more on your training because I know you're also competing Hyrox as well.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your Hyrox journey then.
So that is my favourite sport now. I'm so glad it's a
Uh,
new sport.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
So you did your first one. When was your first one again? Was it?
first one was Manchester
Yeah, this year.
in January. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Seems ages ago now.
I know it does, it does, it does. So how
Yeah.
was that the first time you did the Hyrox then?
It was brilliant. Yeah.
Addicted
So,
straight away.
yeah. Absolutely loved it. It's kind of a way we train anyway at
Mm,
Fortress. Um,
hmm.
but having that to work towards, um, and doing it with a partner as well, it was just so enjoyable.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Unbelievable.
imagine. Yeah, really good. And so then you did it again, got the opportunity to do it again in London, April,
Yeah.
and you did it by yourself this time.
Yeah.
And
Um,
what was that like?
that was it was a bit scary because it was only I would have been with Megan, my partner, anyway, but she couldn't go. So it was either do it in a pair again or just try it on my own.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, I just went for it.
brilliant.
Yeah, and it was a totally different experience. being by yourself, kind of talking to yourself all the way through rather than your partner. But I still loved it just as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just loved everything about it, the physical and mental challenge.
Yeah. 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 Would you say it's, I mean, obviously it's a lot more physically demanding by doing it yourself. But talk to me more about the mental side of things, like what was going through your head at certain points, and did you experience any lows and highs? And talking about the mental side of doing the Hyrox by yourself there, Shiv.
Um, yeah, so lots of highs and lows. The running I find the most challenging. So everyone will be different. You'll find the running or the stations more physical. The beginning I always find hard. So there's lots of talking to yourself. You might be going, "Oh God, what have I done? I can't do this. What have I done? Everyone's here, and I'm going to have to back out." I was looking for toilets, going, "I'm going to be sick.
Oh
Nowhere
man.
to go." And then you calm down a bit, and then it's
Mhm.
like each station you're like, "Yes, I've just done that. Yes,
Yeah.
I can do this. I can do it." It's so up and down,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you get past halfway, and it's you've done that much, so you can
Yeah.
finish it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. No. No. Because I did it. I did it January by myself for the first time. And oh man, I can definitely relate to what you're saying, because it was
Yeah,
literally just I mean, I was nowhere near as fit as I am now. So, you can imagine out of shape and just horrible. But yeah, there were moments where I felt like I needed to just, you know, wave the white flag and just give up. But you're right though, because the good thing about High Rocks, I thought what I found was, like you said, you've done one, 7 to go, 6 to go. It's like a countdown, isn't it? And for me, that's what sort of kept me going in
yeah,
that sort of state. Is like knowing that you've got less to do, few things to do as you go on, isn't it?
definitely.
Ah,
And I think it's
brilliant, yeah.
the adrenaline at the beginning that makes you feel, but that's just
Mm,
normal. So
yeah, yeah. So you think
no,
as you go on, yeah,
yeah,
think as you go on, the nerves calm down a bit.
yeah,
Brilliant. Would you say you had some similar experiences during your earlier years of competing in, let's say, the Irish dancing, or does it compare?
yeah. It does very similar. So the
Yeah.
nerves before were exactly the same. It just reminded me of being either at the side of the stage or at the before a match is about to start. Exactly the
Yeah.
same feeling.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
in knots.
Wow. And I guess because you haven't been in that competitive environment for so long, how long would you say? How long had it been then before the last
I've
time
done
you competed?
I've done a bit of Gaelic, so
Hmm.
but yeah, it's a long time since
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah big
Brilliant.
competitions like that.
Wow. So where are you going with the Hyrox journey from here now? What's the next step?
So next is October,
Yeah.
Birmingham, hopefully with Megan, my partner. London and Manchester were all booked up for all three.
Oh wow, all three. Yeah.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
and
Brilliant.
probably more after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any ambitions to like make podium, or how far do you want to take it?
Oh yeah, I'd always love that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
because the first season, each competition was different. So it
Right.
was the pair, solo, and then in Vegas it was the pro weight. So that was new as well. So I've done three different ones. I've never done the same one twice. So
Ah,
this season now I can look at the times and try and
brilliant.
get a bit faster.
Yeah. Sorry. So you actually qualified for Vegas. You went, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot about that. Tell me more about that experience going to Vegas. Sorry.
I know that was a complete shock. Yeah, totally didn't expect it. So it was massive opportunity just to go and
Mhm,
experience that.
mhm, mhm.
It was incredible.
Yeah. And what would you say? How is it? What's it like coming back from that? That was back in May now, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like, has it changed? Do you feel like it's changed, or has it added to maybe your confidence more? Like, how has it impacted you?
I think it's added to my confidence definitely.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
Again, that was even more intense mentally
mhm.
because it was a lot of the stations were heavier, so that I was really panicking before.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, with who you're with, our team, you know yourself.
Mm,
They have you mentally prepared and physically prepared. So we've done it in sessions, so it's like you just go and do it again.
Yeah, just another training day.
Yeah, that's all I kept thinking. It's just a little bit longer than a training session.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. No, wow, brilliant. Okay, sounds good. So let's talk about, because I know right now you've got a bit of an injury, haven't you, Shiv?
Yeah.
So talk to me about your career in terms of injury, and is that how you sort of fell into the yoga, or was it just a case of, I know you mentioned earlier about you picked up on hot yoga earlier, but did having an injury have anything to do with that, or?
No, no, I've never really had an injury that stopped me
Okay.
before, but I'm training a lot more now. So it's just one of those things that when you train this much, I've got more time now to train. So, well, not really, but I do train more. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, we do a lot of um, classes and the style of class that just helps with either people that are working with injuries, because it's quite gentle. So if you are injured, it's really good
Mhm.
just to keep mobile. Um, and it prevents a lot of injuries. I mean, this is the first real injury I've had, and I've been training intensely for nearly
Mhm.
2 years. So
Wow.
it's yeah, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, it's keeping up. So obviously having this like sort of a bigger injury for this time around, most people will probably be discarded from training at a sort of high intense level, or even stop completely. What would you say to those people who do stop and who sort of back off from training?
Um, I don't think, yeah, when they say rest, you don't have to fully rest. I don't
Mhm.
believe in that, because you're just going to make everything else seize up and get worse. And so coming back then is going to be a lot worse. But if you've got a right coaches or trainers, physios, whatever you need to see or speak to,
Mhm.
definitely, but not fully stop training. I'd never say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So there's always something you can do and
Gotta
work
keep moving.
around it.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Sounds good. Let's go into more the actual yoga itself then. So you discovered it how long now ago, would you say?
About 11 years ago,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay. So you fell in love with the whole, was it just original yoga? Or was it actually hot yoga, or?
It was hot yoga. Yeah.
Okay.
So I
So
tried both.
it must have been quite new on the scene then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely around here anyway, locally. In London, they've been going for quite a while.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, but yeah, I just think with yoga, the movement stretches, your body has to be warm.
mm,
So, especially yoga, it comes from India anyway. So it's hot, humid. So
mhm.
we don't have that. So we create it.
Yeah, you have to recreate it, sure.
Yeah. But it's definitely safer
Yeah.
to keep your body nice and hot.
Okay. So there's some advantages to performing yoga in a sort of heated environment.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, sounds good. Have you ever been to India? Do you have any plans to go to abroad and do it?
No, but I'd love to.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
wow, sounds good. So it's on the bucket list.
Yeah.
Now, is there a particular style? Because I am aware I've done some yoga in the past. Is there a particular style that you guys teach? Is there one way or?
Yeah. So the majority of our classes are vinyasa. So
Mhm,
that's it's a kind of flow sequence. So you don't hold postures for too long. So it's quite physical. You'll keep moving using your breath. Um, so there's a bit of strength, flexibility, mobility, and relaxation as well. So you kind of get the whole lot in an hour.
yeah,
That's Hot Pod Flow. And then we do have another class, nurturing, which is a lot more slower, restorative, holding poses. So really good for your hips, shoulders, back.
mhm, mhm.
Um, and that's a nice evening class. We just do them in the evenings, and
Yeah,
good working with injuries as well.
right. So there's two different styles there. If
Yeah,
somebody was looking for, let's say, to build strength and improve on their fitness, you'd
yeah,
say the one mentioned earlier, what was that one
yeah.
called again?
Yes, Hot Pod Flow.
About flow. That one's more beneficial for them.
Yeah,
And so for people with like, let's say, more pains or injuries, a bit more
yeah,
gentler.
yeah. Is the nurturing, but it also works if you do both. The nurturing one just helps with your flexibility more because you will hold. You'll get more deeper into the stretches by holding
Right.
longer.
Hold it for longer. Okay. Yeah, that's probably something I'll need to get to myself because my hips are in bits.
I know.
Okay. Sounds good. And so I'm guessing it's literally whole body stuff from head to toe, like you do all sorts of poses and stuff.
Yeah. So we'll start with a warm up just to start to open shoulders, chest, back, everything that tightens up throughout the week. So you start
Mm.
to just really gently warm up, just some deep breaths. And then we'll slowly start to come up to some standing poses, strengthening legs, arms, um, again, opening hips. So we kind of get to a peak where you're really sweating, working hard. But again, everyone just goes to their own pace and
Mhm.
just rest anytime. And then we start to bring it back down, eventually leading to just a nice relaxation at the end. So it's
Wow.
kind of mentally, because you have to concentrate on what you're doing. You kind of don't think of anything for an hour, which is nice.
Brilliant. Seems
Nurturing,
like go on.
the nurturing flows even more um, kind of relaxing, but it's more mentally challenging as well. Because as you hold it, you could be holding a stretch for 5 minutes, and your mind,
Oh wow.
and you've got to try and hold your attention inwards to what you're feeling, but your mind's could
Wow.
be going off in all directions. So it's trying to keep that focus on yourself.
Yeah. So you said 5 minutes, right?
You could hold a stretch, yeah,
Wow.
or just could even be just shavasana at the end, just lying still
Hmm.
and try not to let your mind wander off. So it
Yeah.
sounds easy, but it's not.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. And how important is breath work? Because I know that's something I learned um, through doing yoga earlier on, um, previous years. I sort of used what I learned from there and carried it over to my own training. How important is it for the breath work then to sort of master that? And is it something that just takes time to learn?
Just being repetitive. So we'll kind of guide you inhale, exhale in the different movements. So the exhale breath, it would help you get deeper into the stretches,
Mm,
trying to relax your body, relax the muscles,
mhm,
connective tissues, and so
mhm,
on. But also, it just really helps calm the nervous system. So if you just
mm,
focus on your breath, even without doing any of the poses, just lying or sitting still,
mhm,
everything will just start to calm.
mhm, mhm,
So it's just really important for that.
mhm. Would you say like yoga is a bit a form of like meditation? Then is that something you've come across or?
Yeah. Um, so meditation can be anything. It's just literally trying to get your mind to connect to your body.
Mm,
So it's just connecting the both. Try not
mhm.
to let anything else in. So
Wow.
whether that's doing yoga, you're not thinking of anything, that's a form of meditation as well as
Mhm.
just sitting there and focusing on your breath. So it can be
Yeah.
any.
Yeah. And have you found like what sort of trend have you seen? Like what sort of things have you seen since I say COVID, but over the years? Are people coming in more with pains, with like back pains and stuff? Like what sort of things have you seen over the years and since you started?
Yeah. So there's such a range of things why people start.
Mhm,
Um, a lot of it will be back, their back stiff, back pain.
mhm, mhm,
Um, Again, that could be just lack of movement or tightness in hips. There's loads of reasons. But
mhm,
they really find the benefits. Other people, they train a lot. So we get a lot now of football, rugby. If they're just very active. So yoga will really complement that. And then mentally, just some people, or they'll come for the physical side and then realize mental benefits are
yeah.
what they needed more than anything.
Right,
That
right,
time
right.
out,
Yeah.
start to see all the benefits.
No, yeah, that sounds really good. And I was just about to say when you said that football rugby, because there has been a bit of a stigma around yoga saying, that it is more for women. But what would you say to the men out there who are looking to, recover, gain the mental edge over it? Have you seen an increase in growth in men participating?
Yeah, slowly,
Mm,
but definitely on the increase.
that's good.
Yeah, because
Mm,
a lot of them come, and they've got really preconceptions about what it is. It's like,
mm,
I
mm.
don't know if they think they're just going to sit there cross-legged and that's it, or put their leg around the back of their head.
Yeah,
There's all these things they've got, but they always come out really feeling the difference.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
just they can move a lot better.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
mainly to keep them moving. So whatever sport they're playing, it's just to keep them there longer, less injuries, and then again the opposite of what they're doing every day.
yeah,
So they'll
yeah.
be training so hard, it's just to take a step back, do
Yeah, I
something
mean,
else.
recovery is important, isn't it? For, like you said, being able to keep going and keep moving forward. Something I've experienced along the years because, I've trained for many years now, and like I said earlier, I've got hip pains and back pains, and I've done a class at your place as well, and instantly you can feel the benefits, and having done it in the past as well, you can feel massive benefits to it. So yeah, it's really good. Okay, no, that's really good. Moving on, then let's talk about how do you tell me more about the business aspect of it, and what Hot Pod Yoga is, and how you guys sort of function, and etc. and stuff around that, and how do you even manage that with a family and your own training then? I know it's a bit long with your
Yeah,
question there, but yeah, if you don't mind giving a little insight.
no, it's fine. So it is a franchise. So I was the second studio outside London. So London
Wow.
just started it. I can't remember dates now. 2003. No, I can't remember. But a friend seen it in a magazine
Mm.
about a pop-up yoga studio, so I was intrigued straight away. Jumped on a train to London, and as soon as went in, I was like, I have to have this.
Wow.
It's just like just so immersive. As soon as you get in, the heat, um, just the dim lighting, no mirrors, so everything I
Mm.
like.
Yeah, yeah.
Really focus on yourself. It was just so good. So I kept going to London because that was the only place it was.
Ah, right.
And I talked to the owners, Nick and Max, and they were just starting to franchise it off. That was in their plans.
Hmm.
Um, that was October. And January, I launched.
Oh,
So
wow.
3 months, I was like, so yeah, they trusted me with it because it
Yeah.
was, their baby, to
Hmm.
say.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's gone from strength to strength, really.
That's
So
amazing.
in the beginning, I had to have a van, and I moved that round in and out of a van every class to scout halls, school halls, wherever I could, wherever they let me.
You're knocking down the door. Let me in.
Yeah, and then so I just hired the halls. I was doing about 10 classes a week,
Wow.
um, and it worked well. But I thought I'd find a base quite quick, but it took 18 months. So
Mm,
there was only so much longer I could have done it because it was really physical getting it in and out
mm,
myself. So eventually I found a place,
mm,
and that built the business. Then, as soon as I could stay still and get more classes, more teachers,
mhm, mhm.
it took off from there. Really.
Wow, that's brilliant. And just, I should have said it earlier, but what sort of heat temperature can we expect in the pod?
So 37 is
37.
which we've had last week. So everyone just
Yeah,
now.
I was going to say, yeah, we were training in that sort of heat last week, weren't we?
Yeah, I was quite annoyed that the weather beat me.
Yeah,
I'm the only one with 37 degrees.
everybody was just doing yoga outside, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't good for
Oh,
business.
wow.
um,
Wow.
yeah, but that's the optimal. It's your body temperature. It sounds
Mm,
worse than it is. I
yeah.
don't have anyone come out because it's too much. We have a humidifier as well, so it's not a dry, horrible heat.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
yeah, it's nice.
brilliant. So what tips can you give to people who are thinking about, or what would you say to someone who's thinking about trying it, or maybe a bit nervous to enter the pod and stuff?
Yeah, no, definitely don't be nervous. So we'll say at the beginning of every class, for everyone to just take breaks, take sips of water. You can lie down, you can watch as much of the class as you want, so you get used to what the moves are, and just build up in your own time. We'll always show different variations of everything, so people just do their own thing, and you'll see that straight away. The atmosphere is really relaxed, and
Brilliant.
there's
No,
no
I can
get into better poses than others.
yeah. No, I can definitely vouch for that, Shiv, because we brought our own team down, our own members, and you definitely were. He definitely helped us and very accommodating to our members, and they all enjoyed it. They all loved it.
Oh, good.
So I think you said there's been a few that have come down since.
Yeah, they have.
That's brilliant. That's really good. That's really good.
Thanks for bringing them.
No, that's really good. And so, how many instructors do you have at the moment running inside the pod as well?
We've got 9 instructors.
Wow.
And then September, we're looking to put on more classes and a few more instructors as well.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
September's kind of January.
What was that? Sorry?
September's always like a January, so it's good to do some new, and we'll do some workshops as well in different areas.
Yeah. So what you mean? You'll go out to different areas and do some?
No, so the workshops will be here, but things like the handstand workshops, just little extras that people like to dip into. So we'll do some focus workshops.
Oh, brilliant! Sounds really good.
Yeah,
good stuff. So, any other future plans for Hot Pod? Where do you see it going?
Yeah, as we say, building more classes, workshops, teachers, bringing new people in, more clubs, sports.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so lots of directions, hopefully.
Oh, that sounds really good. Sounds really promising. Good stuff, Shiv. Well, thank you for joining me on the podcast and giving an insight into what I did. Where can we find you? How can we find you, Shiv, online?
So it's hotpodyoga.com, and then there's you'll see find your studio. So you can either type Solihull or it will come up anyway.
Yeah.
All the classes are on there, prices. You can get a free class from you. You can give your clients your code.
Brilliant.
And there's an intro pass, then 3 classes for £15. So it's a good way just to try it out.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. So are you on Instagram as well? Hot Pod is that on there too?
Yeah, Hot Pod Solihull, Instagram and Facebook.
Brilliant. Great stuff, Shiv. Well, thank you again for joining me. I really enjoyed this one. I'm sure a lot of our viewers will definitely have a listen and just, be amazed with the journey and how you managed it all and how you keep on going. So big thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay, Shiv, you take care, yeah?
And you.
Take care. See you.